Welcome back, everybody, to Emerald Coast. We're still playing the good old compost game, but we've got ourselves a little different setup now, and I'm kind of proud of it. I think it's a pretty slick setup. I do have to give big props out to CCS 101 for hooking me up with a couple cool edits. If you remember, we put this building down maybe a stream ago, maybe 2 streams ago, and it was simply the potato building that I had edited to hold compost. Well, he went in and changed the texture, so it's got a big mound of compost now in it. It holds compost. Of course, we've got the auto-loading conveyor belt. We picked up a new tractor right there for the compost factory to haul around our fuel tank. And we've got another storage building down here, and this one is set to hold chaff or grass. So it's got a chaff texture in there. Once again, thanks to CCS 101 for changing that texture around for me. And what we've got is I've got Courseplay working now on the big grass field. I've got, I think, Betty. Or at least Betty was the person who was... Let's not do... At least Betty was the person who was harvesting, not mowing. Betty was mowing grass. Exited the game because I didn't have head tracking working. Hey, Rockhound. Hey, Milo Valley. And Jonathan. What's up? We've got another person foraging grass with Courseplay, and I got it working so that they would unload the trailer successfully into that storage. So this way we can keep mowing and we can keep foraging, and we don't have to basically be bottlenecked with the compost master. So we can kind of focus on just running the compost master facility. Making compost, selling compost, and once the price is to the point where it's not overly profitable, we can just start storing it. Hey Frank, what's up? I also went ahead and bought 20 more sheep, or 19 more sheep, because I think we had 11. We now have 30 sheep. And it was really nice with the graze mod, so I just bought 30 sheep and gave them a little water with the water trough mod. Didn't have to give them any more grass because graze mod did it. Hey Gabe, what's up? Hey, what do I think about Farm Sim 19 and John Deere? I think it's pretty shocking news. Not too many people really expected it. I think lots of people wanted it and hoped for it, but did they really think it was going to actually happen? Just wishful thinking type of thing. But I think it's pretty groundbreaking news. We'll have to see how much of the John Deere family of equipment and implements makes its way into the game. We've got some brands like Case that has a pretty good presence, and then we've got other brands that are pretty limited in what they've got as far as farm sim content. I don't know if you all can tell, but we've been stuttering a lot tonight down here at this area. And the only thing that I've done different is I put the April update in on this system. So I'm hoping the April update didn't slow its performance down. Maybe there'll be a driver update that'll help me out. I don't know. Cotton fields. I'm not sure about cotton. I haven't done cotton in Farm Sim 17. So it'll be interesting to do cotton. So we saw obviously the case cotton harvester. It was interesting that they didn't have a John Deere cotton harvester. You kind of thought maybe if John Deere was the big reveal, then maybe why didn't they just go ahead and go all in with that and show off some multiple things of John Deere. Good here. Let's go ahead and put another load of grass in. Another crop that is kind of getting overshadowed by the cotton announcement is oats. Oats are also in the game. Oats were listed in the press release as a new crop. But I guess oats aren't as sexy and slick as a fancy cotton harvester and cotton. Once we get this dumped, go check out the mower and the forager that we got running. Looks like the mower's done work, so we're gonna have to move him over to the other field. Hey, farmer, oops, what's up? Hey, Kurt. We're going to need to make a fair bit of money here because the Geo, I think, is going to have the first harvest in early spring for our grains like wheat and barley. And we do have a fair number of wheat fields on the map. So let's look at that. You can see the first potential harvest is going to be early summer for wheat, barley, and canola. And we would be able to swap and put down more soybeans and corn into those fields to double crop. So if you remember, we got fields 3 and 4, which are canola and wheat. We also have field 9, which is canola. I know 4 is sugar beet. Sorry. So we got canola in 3 and 9. You don't have near enough money to buy field 5 yet. Hey, Raznik. Raznik's doing a big logging endeavor on the multiplayer Emerald Coast. How many logs y'all cut down so far? Does the multiplayer give you that information? We also swapped out, I think I've swapped out the forage box, the forage wagon, since the last time we were together. If I remember right. Alright. Let's cut that down. Yeah, that was the weird thing, is that it was case in the video for cotton, which I thought was interesting because there was, you know, obviously John Deere was the big reveal. And if that's the case, then, you know, why wasn't maybe, why didn't you just go ahead and like do an all-in thing of John Deere basically being everything? You know, show off a John Deere harvester, show off John Deere tractor, and you know, some other John Deere type equipment. That mean maybe we won't have a John Deere cotton harvester, or are we going to have, you know, they just wanted to put in, maybe they needed to satisfy their other big brand with a piece of equipment in the video. So there we can see we've got a new box. That's the, I think that's a Miller box. May have had that last stream. I don't remember. But, so Kurt, you never saw a case cotton picker. It's interesting because in another, somebody in my Discord, I forget the name, maybe it was Ken. He mentioned that that's all he sees are case cotton pickers around him. Well, you know what I think would be interesting is imagine if they had opened up, let's say, pre-sales for today. Yeah, imagine how many pre-sales they would have gotten just out of the hype of the announcement, you know? Just jump over here. We swapped out the forager for a lily forager. Now that we are rich in money. I want to show you how this pulls on up and unloads. Oh no, I would expect the hype would have been so much that people would have been like, oh, John Deere, let me go buy it. Here's my credit card. Throw you my money. Can't give you my money quick enough. Once this thing unloads, so I had to record this course a couple times because it wasn't unloading. So I basically put a unload here point in, and it's in here. Beth is our helper today on the 7810. I think this one basically has that little unload animation. I don't think the other one did. Got our truck and picked up our service trailer. What I wanted to do is I wanted to check on something down here at the bulk. Uh-oh, we better let this guy go. I want to check on something down here at the bulk fuel. Oh, we were cutting it close there. Yeah, Dakota, I saw that. Exciting news. So I don't know if I mentioned in an earlier video or not that I discovered that this bulk fuel station basically has variable pricing. Pricing will go up and down on it. I don't know how it basically decides if it goes up and down just based on when you are in the game. The next time you're in the game, maybe it's lower than it was previous time, or if it actually changes the game, like during the game, like prices at the sell point. But when CCS 101 was looking at the script, he said it also had a tag to not allow fueling of trucks and tractors, only allow fueling of trailers. We're going to go down here, we're going to check that out, see if we need some fuel, both in our trailer and in our truck. So I want to see if that works. I don't know, maybe I was misunderstanding him if it was already flagged. Don't allow fueling of anything other than trailers, or if he was just saying that that was an option. We'll see what happens. Oh. Right here. Alright. Let's unhook our trailer. Let's pull up here to the pump. Yeah, we're not getting the refuel trigger. Back up a little bit. See, we're not getting that indicator to fuel, so we can't fuel anything other than a trailer here. Pretty interesting. Hey, Darren. You know, I had the compaction mod in here, and I actually took it out because the way it was working with the grass. So it's standard farm sim. When you mow grass for the first time, it basically eliminates the need plowing. So if we look here and we go over here to need plowing, it pretty much eliminates this. It's eliminated there, but we haven't mowed this yet, so it's still there. When I had the compaction mod in, the need plowing wasn't going away, and it was showing me the compaction state as the tractors were driving up and down the field. So I took it out for the purpose of getting the plowing feet cleared on the grass fields, and then I'll add it back in. I don't think it's anything that you edit in the map. I think it's just a drop-in mod. At least that's how it worked for me. There's a README file in the zip where you need to there's a line of code that you need to add to the vehicle's XML entry for a cultivator or plow. Get it to do a certain number of decompaction levels. I was reading it, basically there was like 4 levels of compaction. 0 was like, or well, it was like none, light, medium, and heavy. And a certain type of plow or cultivator would do a heavy decompaction, so we would remove 3 layers. Then there was a different kind of cultivator that would remove 2 layers, and then there was a third type of cultivator which basically would just take a light decompaction away. And then there was an XML code that you added to your tractors that somehow enabled some maybe in-cab tire pressure indicator, because there was a placeable air compressor that you could buy, and then when you walked up to that air compressor, just like the power washer, you would turn on the air compressor and you could raise or lower the tire pressure on your tractors. And in theory, the lower the tire pressure is, the less compaction you would have on the ground to a certain point. And I was playing with it, and it was really making the tires squish. I mean, they were really deformed. It's kind of funny looking. Now, when I had it in, both of the tractors that I owned listed having light compaction. So I didn't have, I guess, a heavy enough a tractor to really have a heavy compaction at that point. Then the truck had 0 compaction. The semi was light. So I expect maybe a harvester would be medium compaction or heavy compaction. Hey, Talgar. Hey, Anthony. I don't know how it, well, yeah, I mean, I guess with MR, maybe the big question would be how the tire pressure would function. I mean, when I lowered the tire pressure on this one, and they were seriously flat. I mean, it was like the red rims were almost on the ground, the way the tires were deformed. I think anything that would be decompacting would need some type of decompacting code, or maybe it was just, like I said, it was in the README. Maybe there was a code for level 2 and level 3 decompaction. But maybe anything with a cultivator type would work for level 1 compaction. Let's set this up. I think this is 27. Yep, this is field 27. And let's go ahead and do this. Well, the mower there is, you can get that over at modhoster.com. It should be a link in my spreadsheet. Let's do a bunch of headlands. Let's do 10. See what that looks like. Let's do 5. Looks fine. Back this up. Started. And what field was this? Field 27. All right. That. See that anymore? Done picking up this. There's just 3 more passes there, and our truck is full again. I didn't put Courseplay in Germantown. If I did, I didn't know anything about it. Let me check real quick. Courseplay is not in. Just looked at the mod folder. Let's see what we get here. Oh, I don't know if you probably didn't see the comment, Rockhound, but somebody left a comment on the Memorial Day stream on Emerald Coast, the one where we put the truck in. Basically said that the truck that he pulled off of your Facebook was only the dual axle, not the tri-axle. I don't know if both are linked up there, and he probably just clicked the wrong one or what. I told him to message you because I was like, I don't do Facebook. Ooh, better slow down. Oh, it is? Alright, let me fix that. Let me fix that. Alright, it should change in just a few moments. So like I said, I'm gonna put the compaction mod in once I'm done this other grass field, because with it in, it was kind of weird because part of the field was had the plowing needed removed, and the other part of the field didn't. So I wanted obviously, just because I'm a little OCD, I wanted all of the field to say that it didn't need plowing. And I'm assuming that if we plow the field, the need plowing state will go away. And instead we'll just get the need cultivate state. I haven't, you know, I basically played with it for like 15 minutes. So I haven't had a chance to actually plow a field yet. Oh, and some folks were wondering, yeah, my steering wheel turns. I guess some of the, maybe the Mac that was out there on Forbidden Mods, the steering wheel didn't turn, maybe? John Deere is some big news, isn't it? Is this done? This is done. Let's do continue. I was surprised with this. Drive now. I was surprised that the way Courseplay was working with this is, I figured it would not close the forage harvester. I figured it would leave it in an open state, and basically we'd be driving down the road in an open state. But I was surprised at Courseplay, when it was done mowing, it would fold it, and then it would drive. It would dump the grass, and then it would come back here, and then right before it picked up, it would open the would unfold the forager again. So I did turn the traffic off, because traffic in Courseplay on this map would probably spell certain doom. Pragmatic Bliss, John Deere, or Bias, John Deere is confirmed. John Deere will definitely be in Farm Sim 19. There was a trailer released today as part of the E3 announcements, and in the trailer, it's basically a longer version of the very first trailer we saw months ago. You see the farmer open the door to his barn. You see him holding his little keys, and then you see the door open all the way, and you see him give a nice little smile, and bam, there's an 8400R right there. He promptly jumps in it. And the other thing that you see is you see him getting in it and sitting down. So are we going to have possibly animations of getting in the tractor? You see him tilt the steering wheel back. So are we going to possibly have in-game IC controls? You see him start the tractor with a key. So that kind of also maybe indicates possibly in-game IC controls where you could, interactively start the implement with a button as opposed to simply doing a, the enter button or whatever. And then you see him out cultivating. You got horses running around. The press release talked about rideable horses, to be able to ride a horse around your property. Explore the farm and the map with a rideable horse. Cotton is a new crop that's been added. And they showed off a case cotton harvester. Oats is also a confirmed new crop based on the press release. That's fine and dandy. There you go. Rob is on the ball. There was also a screenshot. There was also 4 screenshots in the press release. 2 of the John Deere, 1 next to a belly dump aluminum trailer. If I have any belly dump trailers in here. I didn't add any. One was like a Wilson belly dump trailer. And then it showed there were 2 screenshots of the new Fendt harvester, the new Big 9 Fendt harvester that they talked about previously. And I suspect that's the last bit of farm sim news that we're going to see out of E3. Well, they did put on their Twitter feed a pic of a 6R series at the E3 booth. So some people are conjecturing that maybe the 6R and the 8R are confirmed models. Well, we can probably count on having a better quality model, consistent coloring, consistent modeling. There's still going to be John Deere mods still. They're going to be obviously of varying quality like everything else. But in theory, your in-game stuff is going to be fairly high quality, we expect. And the fact that it's in base game means that people are going to be able to pull those they should be able to pull those models out using the editor and make adjustments and tweaks and enhancements. There was a dog again, so if you're into dogs, then you might be excited about that. we got? Oh, we got Daryl running the show there, I guess. Let's get in it. Yep, we got Daryl running the forager today. Up here at this field. See who we got in the mower now. Oh, Betty's in the mower today. Of course, the grass is not at full cut or full growth yet, so we're getting a reduced output. Oh, you know what? I need to record a course. I need to go record another course for this. What makes you think I want a snake? If you're going to add a snake, you need to add it, model it so that it's in a bale when you grab it. Just ride along with this guy until he's full. Actually, we need to go back here. This a little more. Be out of, definitely not out of fuel. Be out of grass. Grass. It's empty. I did put in a smaller heap mod. Then again, I'm not going to need it anymore. I don't know, maybe you weren't here at the start, but we changed up our setup. Got a storage bin here for compost to hold our overflow. So once the selling price is too low, then we'll just start holding it. And then we've got another storage building down here. One day I'm going to retexture these so it's not blue. And this one's configured to hold chaff or grass. So the way we're configuring it is our foragers coming and unloading into this building. And then we're going to bring our truck around and fill from the building and stock our compost master with the semi. And of course we're going to use this belt. We don't have to use a scoop constantly to empty into the truck. And then the truck can either go to the sell point or the truck can go to storage there. But I did put smaller heaps in, so in the event that we do tip on the ground, we won't have the massive heaping. This thing doesn't pick up that. So it's out of the way. Let's check this truck. Go ahead and use the scoop just to sell that compost. They are pretty small windrows at this point. Again, I don't remember if they were fully fertilized. They may have only been partially fertilized. But really, we're just grabbing the grass now because we wanted the money. Or we need the money. Because we need to buy the fields. And we need to buy some equipment to harvest those fields. And we're going to need to buy some planters, well, to plant the fields that we now own. Once we take that first crop off of it. Pretty good. Hey, JMF Gaming, what's up? Something else that I saw in the trailer is there's a section where it kind of shows a time lapse of the farm, and you see the top barn door open and close, and you see what looks like the winch and the pulley right above the door kind of moving around, as if possibly that's a place to store bales or store other material. Why else would you be able to open and close that door, you know? They showed clouds moving across the sky during a time lapse of the guy cultivating. They've kind of talked about a dynamic sky where clouds are actual objects that can be modeled, therefore textured for different. You have different textures of clouds, different types of clouds. Yeah, there was an old looking thing, kind of way back in the back, blurry. There was a for sale sign on the farm. So some people have alluded to, does that mean that when you start a map, you can pick, maybe if a map has 3 farms like this one, you pick your the farm that you want to start at by buying it. That'll be interesting. Headlights. Alright, this will probably be the last load of compost that we sell today. Keep an eye up there and glance at the forager, because I need to record a course coming down here and unloading. Some people have thought, well, if there's horses, maybe there will be you know, old farm equipment that you have to you know, hitch up the horse and plow the field that way. Oh, like in the tractor, like a an IC control on a lever to lower the implement. That would be pretty neat. Oh, look at that money roll in. Rolling money. Standing. We pretty much have bottomed out the compost price at this point. That thing was only $80-some thousand. Let's close this. I won't be selling compost for a bit. Hey Jared, what's up? Oh, that is full. Okay, we're gonna need to record a course now. Pragmatic bias. That's if you think seasons or something similar will be built in. Well, they did hire the seasons lead programmer. So he is now a giant coder employee. Now, what I understand, or what I have heard from some folks, is that he was tasked with a new mission system. But my guess is that there will be a watered down, maybe Seasons Light type of experience that might be built in, that could be turned on and off from the options menu. Kind of in the same vein that you can turn on and off plowing and such. And you can turn on and off fertilized states. I didn't play Farm Sim 15, but the way I understand it, people talking, is that the big mod of Farm Sim 15 was soil mod, and with soil mod, you basically had, the way I understand it, multiple fertilization stages, but also multiple fertilization types. And you actually had to, I think, there were certain fertilization types that you could only apply at maybe specific fertilization states. And I think it also had to deal with maybe probably tons of other conditions. Like I said, I didn't play 15. I didn't have any experience with soil mod. Just know some folks have talked about it. And from what they say, that basically Giants implemented soil mod basic, like a super light version, by basically having multiple fertilization states. So I expect we might see Seasons Light, where we have maybe the textures changing color on the trees and the bushes, and maybe we have the wet crop idea. Maybe we have a planting schedule, but maybe we don't have some of the other things that are related to seasons. Like maybe we don't have the varying animal stuff. Maybe we don't have specific times that animals reproduce or give out wool or things. I don't like dogs. That's correct. They're annoying. Not a dog person, so I'll never be excited about a dog in any game. Okay, Kinetic J is going to got some background on the soil mod. So you could say the plowing and the fertilizing that are in 17 maybe were derivatives of soil mod's popularity. Slow down here. Let's see. For some reason, this trailer is not detecting this trigger. Let's see, because it's horseplay button. So we're going to stop it there. And we're going to do this button. Set the unload point. That worked last time. While I'm here, might as well unload it. So hopefully we will have, you know, a basic seasons, and then The Real Mist folks will be able to expand upon that and implement, you know, seasons full with maybe the animal stuff. We've already got some stuff in there for ground moisture, crop moisture. I've heard talk about a model where if you harvest at a specific moisture level, your harvest yield will be reduced. Or maybe you're not even allowed to harvest, even if you have a dry crop, until you have a certain percentage of moisture in your grain. That would be pretty interesting. You get to a wet autumn, and crop might not be physically wet, but the grain is too moist to harvest, and maybe you lose it, or maybe it's too moist and you get a lower yield. Or what about the idea of having a crop dryer, to where if you sell corn that's too moist, you get a penalty on the price? That would be interesting. Let's goose this a little bit more. It'd be, it'd be interesting to have a silage bag. There is a mod that allows you to bag grain, where you put grain in a big long tube on the ground. But I haven't seen one where you basically put chaff in and you get silage out of the tube. That would be pretty cool. That would be indicative of what lots of local farmers are doing. Oh, and of course I go this way and I get the dumb thing stuck. Pause it. Did a heck of a lot of points. Right. Isn't that just peachy? There we go. Let's get this. Turn back around. We'll go back the other way. And it's like we never messed up. Now the lily is in the mod hub, and the forage box is, I'm pretty sure I got it linked now in the spreadsheet. It's over at American style modding or something. Any trees? I had to come in cab to drive. He's still mowing somewhere. Still 27. That. That one. That one. And over here somewhere. Oh, did Willow River make it over? Oh, what's he doing? What are you doing, buddy? Now you're... See the need plowing is going away. So like I said, next time we do a stream, we'll have the soil compaction in there, and we'll be able to play with that. Willow River should be over at PCSG. That's definitely where the latest version is at. Who really knows what version is over at the other site? But the latest version has Graze mod, has Water Trough mod built in. Might have some other cool features built in by this point. Oh. All right. So let's look at another field, such as this one. That one we can't afford. This one. Oh, we can buy field 2. Needs planting. Cultivated. Is cultivated. Look here. We'll buy our first cedar. What do I have in here? 1. Oh, I love these little boys. That one. Love this one too. Little stars. Out. Safety handrail. Safety. I buy this field. What did that cedar take? Uh, Wait. Black. Standard tires. Good. Seed. Right. Let's go check out our purchases. Our 5150, our new cedar. And we need to go over here. And we need to pick up the store's telehandler. And use that to load up our cedar. Yeah, I just did a video on that map. It'll be out Thursday. Yeah, the map with the badge. It's not bad. Abandoned Forest is a really cool map. What is that? Why do I have a bale fork? Why did I buy a bale fork? Yeah, the one bridge could be it was even leased. What the heck? You know what I did? Put the wrong code on that because I had bought it with the intent of it being owned by the bought it with the intent of it being owned by the shop here. I must have put the wrong code in it. Instead of it being a 0, I think I put a 2 in or something. Been watching Kerbo's Abandoned Forest play. He is a Sometimes I wonder if he's a glutton for punishment. Seems to, well, he's playing with MR, playing with seasons, and he swaps out his equipment a lot because he's obviously having problems with, mostly with MR, and with the MR effect and the hills and whatnot on Abandoned Forest. Come at it from this side. This is the telehandler from the Modern Classics pack, and I really like this telehandler because it's got really good, I think it's got good visibility of the front forks. So many telehandlers, you can't see a darn thing that's in front of you. This box is kind of difficult because the fork points are kind of narrow. I'm doing MR on Rathlin. This would be a cool MR map, but I didn't want to limit myself to just MR stuff. Dirty Tractor in here. He's doing a fun Willow River series. He's had some silage battles. Let's go. See, I like this. Lower it down. Let's open the lid. Let the steps fold down. I just think it's cool. Yeah, Kerbo has a big problem with Sheep Hill all the time. Oh, our two guys are in traffic. Go get them cleared away. Two tractors occupying the same oh. That's never good. I back out of this. There we are. I need you. There we go. Now you're gonna work. He's doing gearbox, MR, all of the super hard stuff. He goes and uses those gravity wagons to haul his grain around, and he road trains a couple of those together. But even the big old John Deere's that he's used struggles to get up that hill with two. Sometimes he's got to actually go and unhook one, pull one up the hill, go back, get the other one, pull it up the hill, and then he can finally move on. Let's see here. What can we plant? Still plant everything. Let's plant barley just for funsies. Now that we own this field, we won't have that message about not owning the field when we go over here to mow this other field next time. Now that new map that I saw in chat people were talking about, the biggest concern I have with that map is the borders between the fields is narrower than this. I mean, it is maybe a tire's width. So really worried that the gonna have problems at the sides of the fields with the whole dreaded "you don't own this field" message. Yeah, that message. Of course, in the trailer video, you can see at the farm there's some concrete silos, and I'm really hoping that they don't make those grain silos. That's all I'm saying. Silos in the current game are kind of scaringly close to those. One inland, that didn't take long. That took 20% of our grain. Alright, check you later, Darren. So what are you guys playing now? Have there been any other announcements on at E3 that have sparked your interest? There really isn't anything that I'm trying to follow at this point. I figured Abandoned Forest would be right up your alley, Genetic J. Although the fields, I think you like smaller fields, don't you? And those, well, they're as big as you want to make them. Just seeing up and glance at the 7000 series was listed as transporting for a rather long time. To figure out what it was doing. It's picking up grass. Good. Oh, okay. Well, Midtown's a bit different. It's obviously got fields spread across, much more spread out. If you've got the latest Midtown, then you've got all the features of this map. If you've got Midtown Plus, which was updated over at FSUK just a couple weeks ago. We're gonna put probably one more headland in. I don't think there's quite enough room. And the latest that I heard is that Churn Farm was still over at FSUK in testing. So hopefully we'll see that soon. I've heard word that Bullet Bill has uploaded Lone Oak to Giants. At least the PC version to Lone Oak to Giants. So that wheat nap may be closer than we all think. Maybe what is today? Today's Tuesday. Depending how testing goes, maybe the end of the week, maybe next week. It's hard to say. Right. Just checking the forage harvester up there. Only at 6%. There goes. Percent. Well, what you can do, you can go into the it's a simple correction in the map folder. If you go into the vehicle, not the vehicles, but the I think it's the i3D file, and you find the compost master, you'll be able to change the price index. And the price index, I think right now is set to 2. So if you set it to 1, then it should be half as profitable. If you set it to 0.5, then it should be a fourth as profitable as it is now. And then you can basically make it as profitable or not as profitable as you want. I'll see if I can't dig it up here real quick here in once we turn around. All right, let's see. Game sound will go away real quick. Got the game not focused. All right. It's not in there. Yep. Nope. What's that? Let's keep looking for price. Sell point. I don't really see it at the moment. It's in here somewhere where there's a price index, and you adjust the price index, and that'll obviously make it less profitable. Down. There we are. So I saw the mini map has gotten an update where you can adjust lots of things. Let's see here. It's the Alt 9 brings up the mini map settings. You can turn it on or off. Turn help on or off. You can change the refresh rate. You can change its size from here, and you can change its transparency. It can become super transparent. Like that. That's pretty cool. Oh, it should be done in just about a few minutes. I don't like that transparency. That's pretty cool. Change it to super. Alright, seed is going a little further now. I was getting a little worried when one round went 20%. How much seed we were going to have to put on this field. So who all has the Modern Classics DLC? We're going to use the Modern Classics Harvester for this map. I was hoping we would get all that grass picked up by the end of the day. $6.15. Not super cool on the paint job. Kind of would just like the 5150 to be red without the cool little graphic thing. There's a tractor near me that's I'll have to go see. I'll have to try to remember what the number is. It's a 5,000 something. It's for sale at a farm that I drive past every day. It's definitely red though. It doesn't have this weird coloring to it. Hey Brent, thanks for coming by. Thanks for your comments. I do like this cedar. I need to refill it here in a minute. Ah, go big or go home. There's a time for that. I decided I was going to do this map. We were going to do a little older school gameplay. So in theory, we can imagine that it's really in the 1990s. If you imagine that's the era that we're trying to play in at this point. And as a result, we've got some older equipment. We definitely haven't bought the latest and greatest stuff that's out there. Some of our equipment is, goes back 20 or 30 years. Yep, this map would be pretty good for a bud. In fact, you get a bud with starting equipment if you have the bud DLC, the big bud. But lots of these fields are deceivingly big, and some pretty big scale equipment. You can churn through them with a reasonable amount of time. But it's all, it's all based on what you're looking to do. Or it should just about be done at this point. Yep. It's got a little strip left. That is definitely true. Alright, let's see if this holds out. We can get, then we'll duck around back here. I don't think it's going to hold out. Definitely didn't hold out. Alright. Breaking the fence. Cut through here. Run down here to the store and see if we can't get topped off on seed. Thankfully, we've got this, got the telehandler over here. Otherwise, we would have gotten stuck and it would have been behind those bollards. This should open. Good. Too bad you can't close the lid from back here. That would be awesome. To have to come back here and close the lid manually. Alright, the mower is... Whoa! It's there. Mower is done. Need to get him out of the way. Fertilizer shop is, seed shop is closed for business. Close early around here. We're all heading over to the Southern Buffet for the early bird special, which ends at 7 p.m. Right. Let's go get our... And I think it's Control V. Raise it. We are. It's, so it's straight. And let's follow him. Apparently full. Maybe when we are, maybe after a couple game years, we'll swap out the pull-behind forager here and go with a larger self-propelled unit. For now, we're just going to use that forager and that wagon for our purposes. So the next go around, we're going to forage and we're going to put the grass in the fermenting silos. Because at some point, we are going to purchase some cows. Oh, I think it's definitely worth using. The gate I haven't gone. I've said before that I think if seasons didn't come out, I would probably have burned out and probably would have stopped playing a fair while ago. Just because without seasons, it just feels so much like it's just so much repetitive and just churn and burn, or turn and burn the map. See what this thing actually looks like again. Yeah, if you don't like the idea of being able to plant whenever you want, whatever you want, or to be able to plant a field and then you're like, well, I just want to go harvest something now. All right, now I want to go mow something. Then it's not for you. But if you're looking for something to be kind of like systematic and procedural, like we do it this way and in this order at this time, then I'd say it's definitely worth it. So I did do a video series on seasons. It's several parts. You may want to check it out and just give it a watch and see if maybe it interests you. Almost perfect backup job there. I'd really like to disconnect on this. Be hijacked. Just got started on fertilizing that grass field that we just got done. I think the biggest mistake that maybe people do early with seasons is playing at 1x speed. Now there's multiple schools of thought to this, and my school of thought is that don't play at 1x, play at a minimum of 5, because one of the biggest complaints is people will say, well, I'm on day 2 of spring and I've done everything, and I don't have anything to do now until winter or until autumn. Well, to that I say, then you've done it too quickly, either with too big of equipment or with too slow of a clock. So that means either you need to use smaller equipment or you need to run the clock faster. In real life, it will take easily someone a day to do a single task on a single field, if it's of any, significant size. Everybody doesn't have a big M, or everybody doesn't have a 10-meter plow. So if it takes a guy 3 days to plow a field, that's just what it does. I did a 24-day seasons play on a map, and there were lots of people that are like, man, there's no way you could do 24-day seasons, because by like day 6 you'd have everything done. And I was busy all spring, all 24 days of spring, trying to get fields prepped and planted, and I only had maybe 3 or 4 days of spring left before I finally got done. Yeah, and then autumn, I was hard pressed to get all the harvesting done in time, because I didn't do 3 harvesters. I didn't have a whole bunch of stuff running in course play. I did a lot of it manually. Trying to do really 12? 24? Guess so. That line looks about right. Okay. That's another good point. Genetic J is lots of folks, will go out and buy like everything all on the first day. All mode. But what I did with like the 24-day plays, I only bought what I needed when I needed it. Oh, stop. We don't need an offset anymore. There we go. How much do you have left? Got a fair bit to pick. That's why you're having so many problems. All right. All right, we're gonna forage this field by hand. No, I don't know such a thing. You're free to join my Discord. There's plenty of guys in there that'll be willing to answer any questions you got, including myself. That's where you need discipline to keep that money, because you're not going to have any more money coming in. Or you're not going to have a ton of money coming in until fall again. So you got to have money to cover your operating expenses, to your field work, your seeding, and various other things throughout the year. Because with seasons, unless you're doing animals of any degree, then your only income is toward autumn. You also have variable pricing of pricing is much more varied than base game. If you look here at the price, you see wheat has a better price in the winter. That's not always the case. See here, sunflowers is probably spring is a better price. Soybeans is midsummer. But what's interesting is you can't harvest soybeans until back here when it's the cheapest. So you need to hold on soybeans almost an entire year before you can maximize your profits. This is when your corn harvest is coming in. It's not valuable at all. If you can keep it for a couple transitions, that's where your good price is. And same with wool. Wool's highest value is now. I should go sell whatever wool I got. Wood chips has no real value until winter. Then it has some value. So then animal prices fluctuate. So the best time to buy cows is going to be here in summer. Best time to buy sheep is autumn, and the best time to buy pigs is in autumn. So you got to plan things out more, which can be kind of fun. Can't sell any wool tonight because, well, it's closed. I have to sell it tomorrow. If you can store it, yeah, it definitely encourages you to store it because you want to maximize your profits. Because without seasons, you could literally harvest every day of the year. You could have your fields such that you're rotating them out such that when you're planting one field, you're harvesting another field, and potentially you could be selling your crop constantly. Not really care what the price is because you're just churning them around so much. But if you play literally 12 game days at the shortest season length, which is 3-day seasons, you're going to be playing 12 full game days before you can harvest anything. If you play something like 15-day seasons, you're going to be playing potentially 40 to 45 game days before you can harvest, depending on the geo. Of course, with the map could have its own geo in it, or you could put a geo in it, and that you could have drastically different gameplay experiences just by dropping a geographical mod in that basically gives you different planting schedules and different harvest schedules and different temperatures and weather patterns. So for example, this map has a geo in it that is meant to emulate northern Florida. So you can see we are in mid-spring, which, if you think about it on a calendar, the way it works out is early spring is in March, mid-spring is April, and late spring is May. Early summer is June, midsummer is July, and late summer is August. Then you have autumn, which starts in September, October, and November. Winter starts in the equivalent of December and runs from December, January, and February. So if you think about those temperatures, you think about it being April right now. Well, what's the temperature in April in Florida? Right now we got 75 degrees and it's at 8 p.m. in the evening. Look at the forecast. Days 9, 10, and 11 are late spring. So that's the equivalent of May. And now we're 89, 83, and 80. Summer is hitting. So that's the equivalent of June, and we are in the 90s. With this particular geo, we also have a high percentage of rain here because Florida has a lot of rain. We're going to have very warm winters, so the chance of snow is almost non-existent. Whereas if you put in, let's say, a Canadian geo, the chance of snow in the winter is far greater. In fact, the chance of snow in spring and autumn is probably greater. And you'll find the planting schedule and the harvest schedule are completely different. You can play the same map with different geos and have completely different experiences, and have to have completely different tactics to accomplish the exact same goal. Alright guys, well, it is approaching 2 hours. I had a thought to fill this wagon up and then end the stream. Well, I'll probably do that, but I want to thank you guys for coming out and watching. Be on the Valley of the Old Farm tomorrow night, so we'll be streaming on the Valley of the Old Farm. And we've got some field work to do. I helped James harvest my wheat field yesterday afternoon. Sean came by and baled up the straw for me, so I earned a fair bit of money off of that. And we're going to turn the field around. We're going to plow it up and just generally prep it for planting season. And we're not going to plant anything in the field. We are now into summertime. We've got some other work to do over on the Valley of the Old Farm. Yeah, like this geo. This geo allows you to double crop. So here, this is when I can plant these bars. This is the planting, the germination temperature of the ground, so you got to pay attention to that. So on this geo, I can plant wheat, barley, and canola up until the last day of spring. But for wheat, barley, and canola that were planted in winter or autumn, I could harvest as early summer. And if I harvest a field in early summer, I can still plant soybeans and corn. So I could have wheat in the field, harvest it, put soybeans or corn in, harvest the same field a second time that year, turn around and put wheat in it again. Then next year, harvest, plant, harvest, plant, and then the cycle can continue. So in Midtown, I was literally harvesting from early summer all the way through to late autumn. So I would harvest a bunch of fields and then turn them around, plant them. So I harvested all my fields with wheat, barley, and canola, turned them around and put soybeans and corn in them, and harvested them for a second time. That was, oh my gosh, that was busy. A little dark here. Alright guys, well I think I'm going to end it here. I'm going to go ahead and finish this up. And like I said, thanks for coming out. Until next time, happy farming.